Good morning. Welcome back to Grace and Grit, where we talk about the real stuff, the messy stuff, the exciting stuff, the fun stuff, and everything in between. We touch on topics about life, marriage, motherhood, womanhood, and anything and everything. So if you just need a place so you don't feel like you're alone in the craziness of life, you're in the right spot. Thank you for joining us. Before we get into today's topic, I want to gently remind you to like this video, share this video, and subscribe. Today, we're going to talk about how not everything needs a reaction. Because honestly, this is something I've had to learn over and over again. And I'm still learning it. And if we're real, this one shows up in small moments, like most do, not the big ones, the everyday ones. How many things in a day try to pull a reaction out of you? It's not always big situations. Sometimes it is. It's not always major problems. Sometimes it's just small things. Like somebody says something that rubs you the wrong way. A tone you didn't like. Or a comment that felt unnecessary. Or somebody just moving in a way that feels off. And before you even think about it, you feel it. The shift, that irritation, that why would they even say that feeling? And your mind starts going. You replay it, you analyze it, and then we start building this whole response in our head. And now that small little moment now has our full attention. And if we're going to be real, sometimes it doesn't stop there because now we're carrying it. We're thinking about it longer than we were meant to. We're slightly irritated in situations that have nothing to do with that small moment. And now our mood shifts. Our patience drops. And all of this came from that one moment. Here's the part that I had to learn the hard way. Not everything deserves that much of you. Because reacting is easy. It's immediate. It's automatic. It doesn't require you to slow down or think. Something happens, you feel it, you respond. And in that moment, it feels justified. It feels like, well, they said this, or, well, they did that. Of course I reacted. And sometimes, yeah, people do things that are frustrating. Sometimes people say things that do not sit right. And sometimes situations really are annoying. But the shift is just because something can get a reaction out of you, it doesn't mean it should. Because every reaction costs us something. It costs our energy, our peace, and our focus. And if we're not paying attention, we'll end up spending all of that, all of us, on things that were never important to begin with. And that's where it gets tricky. Because in the moment, it feels important. It feels like it really does matter. It feels big. And it feels like you need to respond. Like you have to say something. You have to correct this. You have to make it known that, hey, this is not okay. But if we step back, a lot of those moments, they don't actually need anything from us. They just pass through. And then we're able to see that what turns them into something bigger is actually us, how much we engage them. Because once we react, it continues. Now it's a conversation. Now it's tension. Now it's something that's going to carry into the next moment and the next. And sometimes the rest of your day, maybe even your week. And it all started from something small. And I've had to catch myself in that. Like, why am I giving this so much energy? Why why am I letting this sit with me so long? Why am I carrying this into everything else? Because the real truth is a lot of those things, they don't need to be carried. They just need to be noticed and then left alone. That doesn't mean you ignore everything. That doesn't mean that you never speak up. And that doesn't mean that you let people walk all over you. That's not what this is. It's about knowing the difference. Knowing what actually needs your energy and what doesn't. Knowing when something is worth addressing and when it's not worth disrupting your peace. Because not everything is that serious. Not everything is that deep. And not everything needs to turn into something. And when we start realizing that, we start moving differently. We pause more. We think before we respond. We give ourselves a second to ask, is this worth it? And sometimes the answer is no. And choosing not to react, that doesn't make you weak. It makes you aware. Because it takes more control not to respond than it does to react. It takes more discipline to let something go than it does to hold on to it. And it takes confidence to not feel like you need to respond to everything. Because when you're secure, you don't need to prove a point every time. You don't need to correct every comment. And you don't need to engage with everything that comes your way. You get to choose. And that choice, it can change your whole day. Because now your energy isn't being pulled in every direction. Your mood isn't shifting with every small thing. And your peace is not dependent on what other people say or do. And that's where things start to feel different. Not because life stopped being life, but because you stopped giving everything access to you. And that's a shift, a powerful one. Because now you're not just reacting to your day, you're moving through it with intention. You are deciding what matters. You're deciding what gets your attention. And you're deciding what you carry and what you don't. And that doesn't mean you get it right every time. Like I said, I learn it over and over again. But there will be moments when something gets to you, when you react before you think, when you carry something longer than you're supposed to. That's part of it. But the more aware you become, the quicker you'll catch it, the quicker you'll reset, and the quicker you'll let it go. And over time, that'll change how you experience everything. What once used to automatically trigger something, what once would automatically make you self-doubt, it'll then be something you're just like, okay, that's how you feel. That's not my truth. You'll be able to see where sometimes things are done and said to try to get a reaction from you. And when you're no longer playing that game, when you're no longer giving them access, they no longer have the power. You do. So if today has been one of those days, or maybe it's been one of those weeks or months, or even maybe one of those years, where the little things are just pulling at you, and where your patience feels thin, and where you feel like everything needs a response, like you have to be on defense all the time. You feel like you're exhausted from that alone. I encourage you to take a step back, pause, and remind yourself not everything deserves your energy. And not everything needs to come with you until the next moment. Some things can just stay where they are. And when you keep moving without carrying them, that's a whole different kind of peace and freedom that you didn't even know you needed. Life is crazy. Life throws so many things at us, sometimes all at once. And being able to walk through this life with a little bit more peace for ourselves is sometimes as simple as doing nothing. So today, don't let things get to you. Don't carry what shouldn't be yours. Don't let other people's opinions dampen your opinion of yourself. You know your truth. Stand on it. Alrighty, guys. Love to you all, and I will see you guys next time.